All right, first, thanks to everybody who's present here. It's a very hot day, and I will try making it as quick and simple as I can. You know, once Churchill was asked to make a speech, and he didn't have time to prepare for it, right? So he came to the venue and he said, I was asked to make a 5-minute speech, but I didn't have the time to do it, so I'm going to talk for an hour. Okay. And I haven't had time to prepare the speech or whatever presentation, but I'm trying to, make it as quick and efficient as I can. So this is about the new radio that we developed. And this radio is actually available out here, both for sale as well as for you to fiddle around the knobs and see how it feels. 1 second, I just need to pull my own presentation out. Okay, it's called Z-BITX for a reason, and the reason is simple, that Z stands for zero. Okay, so you're trying to, you know what zero Coke is or zero Pepsi is, basically least amount of calories. So this is least number of grams in it. So what we are going to do is, I'm going to basically, what's happening? This is supposed to be the next slide hasn't come up, sir. Huh? Okay, all right. Doesn't matter. So this is a typical setup, right, for anybody who's into serious hamming, which is you have a radio. It's got a pen adapter next to it, you have some sort of a linear amplifier, you have a keyer, and then you have your logging software, whether the band is open or not, all sorts of stuff, right? So the radio has grown to be more than a radio now. It's a lot of paraphernalia around it. As a result, it takes a lot of space, a lot of things, and most importantly, a lot of wires which are flowing all around, right? So if you take a very popular radio from the 1980s, it's the FT757GX, right? A lot of us have used the radio. So if you open it, this is what it looks like. It's a mess, as you can see, right? So many wires, so many PCBs, blah, blah, blah. And I can actually try, showing you the circuit if the resolution is not enough here, but okay, that's the circuit diagram for the 757GX. Nobody can make any sense out of this, right? It's hugely complicated, and it's very messy. And to set up all this stuff together, for example, let's say you're trying to set WinLink on your computer or FT8, etc. It's a fight. It takes you at least 1 or 2 days to get all your wires, interfaces right. At times you don't even have those interfaces. They don't work together. Then you realize that one connector doesn't fit into another connector. There's noise, etc., etc., etc. So how does this go? Okay. Now this is people trying to set up WinLink. There is Dave Kassler, our friend, at the 21st minute. Look at his face. He's like completely gone there. They are trying to set up WSJTX, 1 hour long video itself, which will take you about 12 hours to set up, right? And they're saying that 7300 is awesome, but the video is 2 hours long to just configure the radio up properly. Setting up a WinLink, if you see this there, it's about 1 hour, 15 minutes long video. So it's not easy to get this stuff done. Now, on the other hand, let me just show this circuit back to you, right? This is a circuit of a traditional hybrid radio, which is microcomputer controlled, etc., etc., etc. But what if we reduce this just down to this? Okay, so the significant amount of reduction of complexity. This, what you're seeing here, is the entire Z-BITX. That's all there is to it. I mean, even if you don't know circuits and electronics, you can appreciate that the amount of reduction, and I'll show you what this does. So up here, does this have a laser pointer? No, it doesn't have. Okay, I'm going to walk here. So you see that? That's where the signals come in and out, low pass filter, and there's a mixer following that. Yeah, okay, yeah. There's a mixer following that. This is the mixer. So all the signals which are coming in are converted to 40 megahertz IF, okay? And this is an amplifier, filter, and it's converted to an audio frequency. That's all there is to it. And the transmit signal actually goes in the same direction through the same circuit and goes back again, out. So it's called BITX because it's bidirectional. The same circuit is used in both directions. So you push audio from one direction, RF comes out the other direction, you put RF in that direction and audio comes out in the other direction. So how is it able to do FM, AM, you know, whatever, SSTV, FT8, CW, SSB, etc. All that modulation and demodulation is actually done in software. Now, that's what an SDR is. So an SDR is not more complicated than a regular radio. It is actually far less complicated. Okay. One. Second thing is that it does everything in software, and software costs nothing to duplicate. Right? It takes you 30 seconds to put the same functionality somewhere else. If you've done a new mode or anything new, all you need to do is basically upload the software. So it's upgradable. And a traditional analog radio over years and months starts depreciating, whereas an SDR keeps appreciating with each update. You have newer and newer stuff going on. However, that's not true of all SDRs, and we will find out why that's the case. So the same thing here. This is what the, oops, sorry, I just need to. So let me go forward. I'm sorry, this is very confusing to me. Oh, I'm holding it the other way around. All right, got it. Was this not working? It's only going backwards.
This is front, this is back.
Yeah, but that's what I was playing.
Here I'm doing forward.
Okay, fine. All right.
Right is forward.
Sure, got it. Yeah, so this is what the board looks like. Okay, so if you see here, you had the low pass filter, and that's the low pass filter here. Those are the 4 band pass filters for the 4 transmitter output. So it's really small. It's smaller than your phone. You can actually carry it in your pocket. This is what it looks like. Now there's a pencil there, so you can see how big that is. And I'll just take a little time to explain what all is going on here. First, in order to reduce the space and to reduce the cost of it, we have, can you put this back on again? Hello? Okay, no, I'll just use this. I'll just use it. Yeah, I'll use this. So if you see here, it's a 3.5-inch big screen. The screen is actually about the same size as that of an IC7300, right? But it's a touch screen. So you just have one knob, and when you have to, for example, change audio, you basically tap on the audio and change it. If you have to change the frequency, you tap there and then you change it. So that's how you do that. And a lot of functionality is actually hidden behind that big menu button, for example, to change the bands, etc. But you can see that there are a lot of features which are unusual for a radio of this size. For example, you have a bandwidth which you can keep changing from 4K down to about 50 hertz. You can really make it very narrow. And that's a digital bandwidth. So there's no ringing if you are a CW operator. Absolutely no ringing there at all. And another important thing is in that mode, you will see that there's FT8. It's the only radio in the world that can run FT8 on the radio itself. Okay, there is no other radio which does that. So, and you can actually see the decodes happening here. You know, the stuff is coming down here. There are, it's got macros here. And what you see here is a logger window. So those of you who do contesting can actually enter your log details there and store the log. And the log, actually, for example, I can set the call sign there and the received S strength. And when I hit the, let's say, reply, it will actually reply back with that, to that call sign with that, you know, signal report, etc. So, let me just move forward. You know, this black on black is just not coming at all. Okay, now just to make a comparison between, let's say, IC7300 and the Z-BITX. Okay, so it's a direct sampling without a roofing filter. Now, what we mean by that is there is no crystal filter in this. So the entire band and more than the band, for example, on 7 megahertz, every signal being broadcast from 5 megahertz to 10 megahertz will directly come into the electronics without any filtering, right, on the analog to digital controller. So the strongest signal in that huge a band, whichever is the strongest, will overload the entire receiver, right? So that's there. Then you have a 14-bit ADC. Then there is a chip called FPGA, Field Programmable Grid Array, which basically converts this into a digital stream. And this entire thing is closed source. So unlike your hot water 8s or even the FT757GX, where you could open the stuff, you know, fiddle around, change your resistor and all that, you can't do any changes at all in the IC7300 because it's a software that you have no access to. You don't even know how it works. Now, what it gives you are SSB, FM, AM, CW, and PSK. And with this, with a CAD controller and an external laptop, then you can run your FT8, FreeDV, APRS, RTTY, PSK31, etc., etc. And on top of that, you have to run a logging software, a spotting software, etc., etc. So it's actually a lot of things which you have to add to this because you can't change anything inside the radio itself. Okay. Whereas this is the stack of how the Z-BITX works. So first you have a 40 megahertz crystal filter of only 25 kilohertz. So anything that's going to overload will be only stuff which is coming within that 25 kilohertz segment. It automatically chucks everything out. Okay. Then you have a low noise temperature compensated crystal oscillator reference and a 24-bit ADC. Okay. So you have far better resolution than the IC7300. I'll actually again go back. You see here, this is 14 bits, whereas we are 24 bits. This is the slides from Z-BITX, so it's a 7-inch capacitive touch display, Raspberry Pi. It's all written in open source C. Very simply written, you can change stuff. For example, even if you don't understand DSP, you can go and change the how the screen is laid out, right? You say, I don't want this button here, I want it there, change its XY location and it will change. Now, on top of this are some libraries written by some of the world's most brilliant software engineers, and I'm not talking about myself. For example, Phil Khan, he wrote the K9Q SDR, so that code is here. Phil Khan is a guy who wrote most of the AMSAT radio, the AMSAT Oscars, onboard computers and telemetry code, and FFT, etc. And SSB, FM, AM, CW, etc. are all built into the radio. Then, based on this, FT8, FreeDV, APRS, RTTY, all this stuff, all the way up to the logger, is all inside the radio, all wired for you. So you don't have to, spend your time and days and life just doing this stuff. Okay. I will show you a couple of more slides, then I'll pack up. So this is CW happening on the Z-BITX. I've just blown up the screen. There's an on-screen keyboard which you can type, and so you don't even require a paddle. I mean, our paddles are 150-year-old technology, right? So it's time we started using QWERTY keyboards. So that is there, and as you can see here, I am actually talking to W1DX 5959 report is there, and it's automatically being generated here. The bandwidth, I can control it, as I said, in step of 50 hertz. It's down at 400 hertz, and RIT is off. So it's right now transmitting this. This is FT7 running on the system itself. This was taken a couple of months ago, but as you can see, there's a fair amount of DX happening here. Around that time, there was a DX petition going on with VU2ESE. So it's about that time that this happened. But it's all on screen, and you know, I don't know how many of you have actually configured WS-JTX to run this. It's very difficult. Whereas here, all you have to do is just put in your call sign and your grid into the radio, and everything else works on its own. So it's working here. This is the logbook. So the important thing is that the log is also built into that small radio. So if you go out onto the field, you just have to carry this in your handbag or in your pocket. It's pocketable radio. This is another view of the same FT8 happening here, and as you can see that, you know, there are macros here which are pre-programmed to do whatever you'd like to do, and only the essential controls are actually here. For example, each message is repeated 5 times. Auto is on. That means if you call CQ and somebody responds back to you, it will automatically complete the QSO. So this was taken from the FDIM, Dayton, which is why there's a US call sign there. Okay, now this is another great feature. So in the IC7300, for example, there is an RA02 which costs $300, which allows you to use the radio over the web. Whereas here, you can actually open your browser on your phone and directly operate the radio from there anywhere in your house within the same Wi-Fi. So it's a radio which weighs less than half a kg for all these features, because software doesn't cost any money, nor does it weigh anything. And you will see that there are a lot of people who have used this in the field. This is one of the reviews. You know, somebody is running Z-BITX with QRP, and if you just search for Z-BITX on Google, you will see a lot of videos which will help you appreciate what it can do. And there are other things which people have done. For example, a lot of people have 3D printed their own different, you know, versions of the case. It uses just 2 LiPo batteries. So another big problem is that when you go out onto the field, your radio might be small. For example, an Elecraft KX3. It's small radio, right? But the power supply is huge. Whereas this, essentially, all you need to do is carry 2 LiPo cells and your USB charger. So USB charger charges it fairly well. You know, right now one is being charged right here. So some people have made a bigger knob for it here, and you know, different people have done different things with this. So it's sort of become a cult thing to mod your Z-BITX in various ways. So I think that's about it. I wanted to keep it short, and I hope it's short. I can take some questions if you have any. Otherwise, we are going to wrap up. The radio is available here, by the way. The radio is available here. No, I'll give this out. Hello. Okay, this is working. Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
There are one question, Farhan.
Sure.
What about the dynamic noise reduction? Does it have some DSP inbuilt to reduce the
okay,
dynamically, especially on SSB or CW?
Yeah. So firstly, the CW filtering is completely, it's the best filtering I've ever seen, and I've actually have.
Okay, so that hauling will not come.
There's no howling at all. There's completely ringless CW filtering. Now about the noise reduction, we have actually tried all the public domain algorithms available, and none of them actually work well. In fact, they make the the sound worse. So what we've tried doing is we've tried keeping the signal which is coming in linear all the way to the speaker, and make it as linear as possible. For example, instead of 14 bits, we have 24 bits ADC. So we've tried being keeping the fidelity high rather than try taking the noise out, and it's actually worked. It's so and if you find a good noise reduction algorithm, we are going to put it in. There's a guy called JJ W6JES. He has actually added a lot of noise reduction and noise elimination algorithms to the stack, but they haven't worked well, so I have not incorporated them into the standard distribution of the Z-BITX and the S-BITX.
Next is it possible to charge these cells through the radio? We are
No,
powering
no.
the radio outside from 9 volts
So,
and charging.
on purpose I avoided that because that was generating a lot of noise. The chargers, they are all switching mode chargers.
Okay.
There's nothing switching mode in this radio at all. Everything is linear, which is why you see it will get a little hot on the back. But that's by design because everything is linear. There are no switching regulators in this radio at all.
Thank you.
आप कुछ
Is there any plan of replacing the codec IC?
Sorry?
The codec IC is not available.
The codec is available, yeah.
We are only getting say 10 piece, 20 piece from this eBay. Is there any possibility of replacing the codec IC
So
in future?
Okay, there are two things. One is for our production we have got thousands of them. Okay, but I actually have a board which plugs onto the Raspberry Pi, which has this codec and the SI5351 in case you would like to brew it yourself. You can, I can send it to you. Yeah, sure. You can actually, once you connect it to an external HDMI monitor, it becomes like a big Flex radio.
Okay, so
you
it has got a HDMI port also.
Yeah. That's why the HDMI port is there on that. HDMI port is there, you can connect a big
And
keyboard,
can we connect
mouse.
some USB bar?
Yeah, everything can be connected. Yeah. It's like a regular computer inside it.
Acha, Raspberry Pi is there, so every facility is there.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
When you use it through mobile phone.
Sorry for you?
When you use it through a mobile phone.
Yeah.
SSB does work there, or it's only for
Okay,
FT?
there's a security issue with switching on the microphone.
Ah.
There is one roundabout, but basically you have to change the configurations in your browser, etc.,
Yeah,
which don't uniformly work everywhere. So we are not able to transmit voice back. But Morse code we can transmit back, FT8 works, but sound we are struggling to find a better way of doing it. An app might be a way, but I hate, getting into this apps business. I'd rather program it to the web with HTML and JavaScript so that it works on its own. ऐसे कर.
Okay.
ठीक. All right, I think we are done.
How much is the time for 2 LiPo batteries that it runs?
For?
Normal working, say for FT8,
Yeah.
it is running, say, unattended. So how much time
So
this
see,
supports
for example,
two batteries?
here right now, on 4 cells, we ran it from morning 9:30 until about 2:30 now.
4 cells.
Yeah. So usually you just carry 4 cells with you. 2 are in the radio and 2 are being charged. Then you swap them around.
Nice.
That's
Thank
a
you.
simple thing to do.
These are regular 18650 cells or?
Pardon me? Yeah. Regular 18560 cells. So it's right now we are okay. Now there's just one thing. I'm just saying this off record. We are unable to sell it at a lower price in India for various reasons, but it's available right now here. Okay. I don't want to discuss the price from this forum, but you can meet us at the stall. play with the radio, see how it fits into your pocket.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much, Farhan,
Yeah,
VU2ESE.